Hi, this is Zena Awesome. I wanted to go a little bit more in depth into the exercising that I've been doing. I get 65 active minutes a day, most of it jogging. Right there, I'm jogging in my yard out in the desert. And here's stats from my Fitbit. This is 2018. I only got an average of 26 active minutes a day. And then in 2019, it went down to 16 active minutes a day as my husband got sicker. And then here in 2020 is when I started exercising. You can see I started getting more in May. And the same thing with steps. In 2018, I was at 5,305 for the average steps a day. And then in 2019, it actually went down because my husband he was sick more, he was in the hospital more. And then after he passed, as you can see, starting in May, most of the months it's actually over 10,000 steps. And this is my weight. So I got my Fitbit in November of 2015. So you can see my weight going back that far. My goal weight is 125, which is the white line that was on there. And for the most part, I've been underweight for the past 4 years. Surprisingly, my weight actually came up once I started exercising more. I was a little surprised about that. I was actually a little worried about exercising because I was afraid I would lose more weight because I have a hard time eating a lot of food. So I was really happy with that. The reason I'm showing you all this documentation is that I'm not someone who's ever exercised. I've been relatively active, but even if you go back and you look at well, not the 2018, but even when I go back further, I didn't list further back, even when we had the farm and we were doing horses and chickens and I was doing the birds and the pet boarding and all that, I was still only getting a little over 5,000 steps a day. I never consistently got over 10,000 steps a day, which now I have, the Fitbit now has a daily tracker, a streak tracker. And I think I'm at 66 straight days. So I'm doing pretty good with that. And the other glitch that was in those numbers that they kind of showed a dip in June, that dip isn't a real dip. That was, I was up at Cedar Breaks and I had challenges getting my Fitbit to sync and charge and upload to the internet. So I lost 5-7 days of data because of that. So that dip isn't a real dip. I actually was quite active while I was up at Cedar Breaks. So I've been able to exercise consistently now since May. And I actually was exercising a little bit more because if you look at the chart, you'll see there was a little bit of a jump in March. So March, April, it went up. And that's when I was following doing 30 minutes of activity, active minutes a day. And then when I did my research and really looked at different documents, and I came up with the ideal amount of activity per week isn't 150, it's 450. And I based that off of documents that looked at people who lived to be 100 and more and what they tended to do. And the 1 hour a day or the 65 minutes a day isn't so high that there's anything to say it's negative. Most articles say that's when you top out, that there's not a lot more benefit after that. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to exercise enough each day to get maximum benefit where exercising more doesn't really help. And then in the other research I found, the number that they talk about that unless you're training or doing, something specific like that, that exercising more than 2 hours a day or strenuous exercise of more than 2 hours a day can actually start to have a detrimental effect. But my point is, a lot of people who get into an exercise routine were athletic or exercisers in the past. They were already doing something, they've just modified things or they've picked things up. I've never been big into exercise, and especially never liked jogging or running. And I've been able to completely change that mindset now, that when I jog, I actually enjoy it. I look forward to doing it. It's really, really strange. So I figure if I can do it, you can do it. Exercise is one of those things that pretty much improves just about everything about your health, both physical and mental. I give you encouragement, tips, and tools to take control of your health and exercise more in whatever ways you can. One of the great things about exercise is that even a little bit helps. So something is really better than nothing. And I want to help motivate you to get out there, or even in your chair watching TV, get more exercise.